I got some more rock challenge stuff. You thought I was done, huh? No. I got lots of rock challenge stuff left. This time, this batch is from Vernon. Vernon Hess, longtime supporter of the channel, very generous. Now, the email that I got with this one is that he hopes there's something in here bad enough to do a challenge with. Yeah. Now, I rarely get that stuff. I mean, that kind of a note. Because they usually say, I hope there's something good enough in there for your napping videos. So we'll see. Maybe there is something bad enough for a challenge. I'm going to unwrap this like a crazy chicken. Pollo loco. Yeah. That's a piece of Rainy Buttes. This is not bad. Although it's blocky. I can do something. I can make it into something. What is it? It feels nice and heavy and large and promising. Oh, look at that. It is a messed up piece of geocook. Yeah, sometimes these pieces are pretty bad. Let me see if this is really bad. Because if it is, it's going to be a rock challenge. I want to see if there's cracks in it right away. I can see cracks in it in various spots, but I want to see if there's hidden cracks. Maybe I'll snap it in half on purpose. Seven and a half or thereabouts, a little over 7 inches. It's not going to stay that long. Nope. I'm going to take it down to less than 7 inches on purpose. Just so people that want to see a 7-inch blade or longer won't watch the video. Yeah. If you want a blade 7 inches or longer on video, you got to go somewhere else. Yep. Once in a while I'll nap a long blade. Once in a while. I don't know if this is bad enough for a challenge though. It looks kind of good actually. As long as I don't make it too thin. Alright, so I can make like a Nebo hill. But that's too narrow. I'll lose way too much, right? There isn't really very many wide point styles. This is not bad unless it gets really thin. It does have cracks in it, but as long as I keep it thick, we're safe. Now, can I get some good flakes so I don't waste it? Trimming it down to narrow dimensions so it's easier to nap, and then keeping it thick. Can I still get good flakes off of this? Or are they going to be crud flakes? It's easy to make crud flakes. It's difficult to preserve the material. Yeah. But I can get a good arrowhead out of that one. Yeah, that didn't break in half, so that's good. That's a good one. It's a good thing, and it's a good one. I'm still trying to figure out if this is a good piece or a bad piece. That doesn't sound that great. Come on, you can disconnect. I know you can. See, you can see the ending in there somewhere. But I don't want to break up the flake. There it is. I can make an arrowhead out of that one. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to tackle the end first, because, you know, I can get into that newbie habit of getting the middle too thin. That's not a good thing. You're going to thin down the ends before you work on the middle. I was just too tempted to take this flake. Yeah. Because it looked juicy. I'll probably use that now from now on as a Flintknapping term. Some of these flakes look juicy. Low-hanging fruit that are ripe. Yeah. Some of these opportunities look like low-hanging fruit that are ripe and juicy. Yeah. So the temptation is to take them, but don't take them from the middle, because you'll mess yourself up. Yeah. Take them from the ends first. Nothing wrong with plucking the low-hanging fruit from the ends first. They do snap in half, so that's unfortunate, right? The flakes look like they're snapping halfish. That means the whole thing's gonna be snapping halfish. Yeah. I'll probably get this down to a reasonable thickness biface and then sell the biface. Yeah. I don't know what kind of point to make out of it. Or you can leave the comment or what to make out of it in the comment section, and maybe I'll do it. See, these flakes snap in half, so this is going to be snap in half-ish type keel cook, and it does look heat treated. What the heck? It's got issues. I'm gonna need tissues after all. It's hard to say. It doesn't look that bad, actually. Okay, next. So you can put in the comment section what you want me to make out of that one. I have no idea what kind of points to make out of that keel cook when they're large like that. The only thing I can think of is like Etleys or Sedalias or something. Let me see. Rock challenge. Okay. The rock CH is a rock challenge. Ooh, look at that. That's another keel cook challenge. So this one is specifically, excuse me, I burped. This one is specifically meant for a challenge. Yeah, look at these. I don't know if I can do these. These are too hard for me. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're too nasty. Maybe they are. Maybe Vernon's got me stumped. Look at those blocky things. Look at them. Look at them all. I don't know if I can do it. Look at these. Shall I start? It's only 10 minutes. I got lots of time. I got lots of time left. If this is going to be an hour and a half video, I got lots of time left. Let's see the quality. Ooh, it's going to be inconsistent. Yeah. 6 inches. Now, I'm probably not going to do the play-by-play on this one. I'll just talk about other things while I do this. Yeah, because these are actually quite difficult. And if I do the play-by-play, you might not get much from it because the strategies that I'm thinking of employing, if I tell you what I'm going to be doing and then it doesn't work, it didn't really help much. So I'm going to have to probably switch up a lot of different things going on in my head. So it's best that I don't talk about what I'm doing exactly. Yeah, talk about something else. What am I going to talk about? I'll try to keep it related to Flintknapping. Yeah, I'll try to. Sometimes I don't want to keep it related to Flintknapping. Yeah, these kind of strikes don't always work. So that's what I'm saying. I am going to just nap it and see what happens. Nappins to see what happens. That's what this is. Look at that. You can make pigment out of this rainy buttes. Yep. I think it's actually silicified petrified wood. Yeah, you can make a pigment, although you might not want brown. Brown is just such a common color as far as pigments go. Pretty easy to make. So what can you use for brown pigments? Well, there's a lot of clays out there that are brownish, reddish brown. Probably, maybe not this type of brown. I don't know. I don't want to talk about pigments. What else do we talk about? Oh yeah, I wonder if you can make pipes out of this stuff. Like a pipe bowl. I'm wondering if the heat would break it up. Because it looks like it can be drilled as well. It might take a while, but this stuff is soft enough to be drilled. I wonder if they made pipes out of this. The Native Americans? I might start making pipes on video. In addition to the arrows and bows and arrows and stuff I need to be doing. Yeah, just what I need. Something else added to the mix. I've got to do bows and arrows and sinew bowstrings very soon. I gotta try to catch up on what I've promised. to do in that arena. Yes, yes. So I'll try to set aside time after I get through a lot of these rock challenges. I can set aside time to make bows and arrows before it gets too cold, and I won't be able to shoot anytime I want out back. Yeah, if it gets too cold or too snowy, I'll lose my arrows if I miss. Of course, I lose my arrows anyway, but I gotta set up a target. If the target's big enough, I should be able to practice during any season. Yeah. So that's what I'll do. I'll just make a big old target. Yep. So I gotta do that. I gotta set aside some time. My schedule, I've got to set my schedule in a reasonable way. What I normally do is I put too much on my schedule. Yeah, that's the problem. And then I go, man, I only got halfway through half of the list. Yeah. You make a list and you break it in half, and then you try to do bits and pieces that are doable. But then you look at it, you're only done half of it, and you go, dang it. Yeah, I should just do what's doable, but I need to do it all. Otherwise it doesn't look like the list makes sense. Right? You go through the struggle with yourself. I don't know. It's mainly just feeling overwhelmed. And I don't really go through that particular struggle. But sometimes it feels that way if you just sit back and look at it. Yeah. I gotta look through my rocks again. I look through my rocks every week, but I can only skim through. But enough skimming and I can eventually get it all done. Yeah. I'll pick out some stuff that looks good. And I'll see, oh, this is an old rock challenge that I got. I got a note in this batch of rock. It's an old rock challenge. But I got my new rock challenges out of the way. I'm doing it in reverse order. I'm trying to do the newest ones first, and then I'm going to go back into the old ones. Because I don't want my new ones to become old. Yeah. So like these rock challenges, these 3 this week, are brand new. I got stuff sitting around for 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, luckily I brought some of them up here to Vermont. But some of them are still in Texas. I got boxes of stuff that I need to nap that are challenge rocks that are still in Texas. Yep. I thought I'd be able to go down there and this summer. But nope. I'm not going to be able to travel at all for at least the next few months. My dad's on 24/7 health watch, basically. That's not what it's called, but that's what I call it. Yeah. I got to make sure he's okay. He's having trouble swallowing, so I'm watching him. He'll sneak some water or Sprite or something when I'm not in the room. I got his food sitting next to him on a table, And I don't want him choking on anything, so gotta watch. Anyways, I always give too much information when I talk about stuff while I'm napping. I have to, yeah, I can't, like I said, I can't give you play-by-play because not everything works that I'm thinking of doing. So I'm just picking at it. And sometimes the flakes go where I want, and sometimes they go where they want. Yeah. So what is the easiest shape to make when you're in trouble like this with a thick piece? The easiest shape to make is what I'm doing, the double pointed one. And it's not a coincidence that it's very common in the archaeological record. Yeah, long, narrow, and double pointed. That's the easiest shape to make. Even newbies make them. They call them almonds. Yeah, but it's, as long as you can thin them down. Yeah, that's a big one. But as long as you can thin them down, it's perfect. You know, don't be ashamed that you make these long almond-shaped pieces, because then if you can thin them down, there's several artifact types like this. You can make knives for yourself from preforms that look like this. You can tackle tough challenges. Like someone's going to hand you some rock and go, look how blocky this is. What can you make? The cross section is driving me insane. I can't do anything with it. What can you do? And you just chuckle to yourself. Long, narrow, and double pointed, coming right up. Yep, it's going to be a modified almond. Yep. It's going to be like a pumpkin seed. Thin. Change the almond into a pumpkin seed. Yeah. Easier said than done. Because look, even the Rainy Buttes is eating my copper for lunch. You see how much copper there is on that? And that spot looks juicy. But no. It doesn't like it. So what do? I move on to another spot. Obviously, that's not going to do anything there yet. I got to figure out something else. So I just tackle the ends. Yep, it's always a good default position to be in. Go back to tackling the ends, make them thin. That's always going to be beneficial. As it prevents snap in half-ish situations. Yeah, a lot of flint napping is good luck, but the other half is the prevention of bad luck. If you can do it, then do it. If you can try to prevent bad luck and you know it, that's a good. If you're doing a good technique for the prevention of bad luck, and by all means do it. It's hard to know what is going to help prevent the bad luck. Yes, I know. But you gotta spend some time figuring that out. At least a little bit. Because yes, you can just be one of those always on the attack type nappers. That does work as well, but you're going to break a lot of stuff. But some people don't care. They'll break a lot of stuff. They're just always on the attack type nappers, like General Patton. Always on the attack, never on the defense. Don't worry about preventing bad luck. Just always be on the attack. You can nap that way. But the casualties are high, like in war. The casualties of stone will be high, but the rewards are great. Yeah. You can be faster than most nappers if you're like that. You take that position. In many cases, you can nap really fast once you get used to that. You can duplicate certain looks. Some artifacts, they look like the napper just went crazy and did whatever to get it shaped. Yeah. Just went bonker beans. Just hit everywhere at random with risky flakes. Yeah. And it's hard to imitate that if you're careful. If you're into doing the reproduction thing. Which a lot of people are, because they want something that looks authentic in their collections. Yeah. They're not trying to make a fake point that they can sell as a real one. No, they just want authentic looking items in their collection that they made themselves in some cases because they're too expensive or they're just not available. So sometimes you just gotta nap like you're crazy, insane. Some artifacts look like the napper was not playing with a full deck and just going for the gusto. That's it. Some artifacts look like they're so persnickety that they might have spent a whole week napping it. So yeah, either way, there are extremes in the artifact record. What am I doing here on this particular piece? I'm just trying to whittle it down carefully because it's a video. Yeah, if it looks like I'm being reckless, I'm not. I'm trying to whittle this down carefully and at the same time not be too timid about it. If I'm too timid, the flakes don't travel very far. You know what I'm saying? They're not big like this. If I'm too timid, I'm not going to hit hard enough to produce these wide flakes. Now looks like there's some internal cracking, maybe, or some of these flakes are diving. That does happen with rainy buttes. The flakes do dive, so I have to be careful about hitting too hard. Not only because it can snap the whole piece, these flakes can dive. If I try to remove too much material all at once, instead of popping out at the end of the flake, they'll try to dive in because they've got enough energy where they can dive. So that's what they want to do. They say, I'd rather dive with my energy than to try to go further and make a longer flake. Yeah. The ones that go further and make longer flakes when they have extra energy, that's the good stone. That's the cooperative stone. The uncooperative stone, they want to take their extra energy and dive in. Yeah. That's when it's a bummer. Are there ways to prevent diving? The only thing I can think of is just make it more narrow. That way your flakes don't have to be very long, and that way the extra energy that you're putting into it doesn't go into diving. You know, you don't have to put that much extra energy into it, in other words. The extra energy that you are putting into it hopefully just goes past center line like it should, and that's it. And hopefully you don't get too many scoop outs like that either. You do have to put in some extra energy sometimes, because holding back is not going to work. And yeah, it's a strange game of sweet zones, or what do you call them? Sweet spots. Yeah. Tweaks and sweet spots. It's a game that you gotta tweak. I had to hit that way a little bit. The only problem with hitting that way a little bit is sometimes the sides of the flake want to dive into the side, wants to dive in. So, you know, it's not always successful. But it looks like it's working so far. Yeah. And I can't make these edges too thick, because it'll take a bite out. There we go. If they could all do that from here on in, I'd be in business. Yeah. I'm still worried about this dive right there. I'm worried about that because you never know how far they go in. How far the little sneaky dive in there. It was sneaky. So I'm going to thin down the end first. It's way too thick. It's probably okay, but it's just way too thick for my taste. Before I start hitting more in the middle. Yeah. You gotta be careful about hitting on the end. Yep. Yeah, always. Well, I say do the ends first, but the ends are not that easy. It's very easy to overshoot the end, which is a bummer, because then you lose length, or you lose a bunch off of one of the sides. It's not fun. So the ends are not easy. In fact, I think for some people, doing the ends are one of the hardest areas to do. Yeah, so you got to work extra hard to get good at doing the ends, if that's the case. Figure them out first, because you have to do that. You've got to thin down the ends before the middle, or your life will be miserable. You'll snap too many in half. Now, there are exceptions where you can leave one side really thick and then just taper it from the thick end down to the thin end. That is an exception. But you still have the risk of snapping it. It's just an exception because some of the artifacts are like that, and they did that in the past, so you're going to have to learn to do that too if you want to reproduce that type of artifact. Yeah. Some of the Danish daggers are like that. As an example, there are others that are really thick on one end and they taper from the bottom all the way to the tip, or vice versa. There's a paleo type in Texas. I'm trying to remember the name of it. can't remember now, but it's the opposite. It's thicker at the tip than it is at the base. Where they halved it, it's real thin down here, and the top is thick like this. Or near the point. It gets thicker near the point. I forgot the name of that one. I got some inclusions in here. I hope that's not going to interfere. I can stop at any time now because I've pretty much gotten the bad parts flattened out. Yeah, that worked. But just one more area right here I need to get thin, and maybe one more in this area to get rid of the dive, and then it'll be bifaced. Yeah, this is okay. Let's try this. I'm gonna try for flakes that could overshoot. Yeah. I don't want to take too much off of this side and go for that juicy ridge right there. But I think I'm going to have to. I just don't want to take too much off of this, trying to move the edge that way. Oh yeah, I get that phone call from earlier. It wasn't even important. And I'm getting a bunch of spam from Facebook too. Oh gosh. I gotta wait for certain days of the week to do the email thing and the Facebook thing, so I don't get messages on my phone while I'm doing videos. Yeah, because as soon as I start updating all the friend requests and responding to emails and giving my phone number out to hopefully safe sources, you know, for shipping and stuff, I tend to regret it the day after because I get a bunch of spam. So I gotta wait to do the spam on days where I don't do videos. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling those inclusions are gonna be trouble. And if I have to hit really hard, you know what happens? The stone says, now's my chance to get revenge. And then I will break, because he's got to hit really, really hard. Yeah. I know what the rock's going to do. Or what it wants to do. I don't know what it's going to do. I know what it wants to do. I never know what it's going to do. After many years, I kind of have an idea, but it's like predicting the weather. You really don't know. You kind of you have a good feel for it, but you never know. Did I say I was not going to talk about this while I was napping it? I'm starting to overthink it. Yeah. Come on. Are you going to cooperate, or are you going to continue diving in that one spot? I know what it wants to do. It wants to keep diving in that one spot. I don't know why. Maybe the water's nice right there. Lots of wildlife for the divers to observe. Yeah. Must be an attraction in that area where there's lots of little fish. What's down in there, guys, that I don't know about that you're so interested in that you want to go down in there? Why? You're ruining the trip. You know, you're ruining the journey. Spending too much time in one spot. Forcing me to spend too much time in that one spot. Everybody wants to move on. Yeah, the viewers don't want me to spend too much time in that area. They just want to see everything smooth sailing. Yeah, smooth. How do I create an environment that's smooth sailing? I don't know. It's very difficult. You can never depend on it. You can never depend on the stone. I should stop right here. Yep. 41 minutes. I got an hour and a half. I should break it up into 2 parts. But I won't, because some of you are not asleep yet. Yeah, it takes me a while to fall asleep also. Yeah, if the video that I'm trying to fall asleep to is less than an hour, a lot of times it doesn't work. And I gotta get up and switch the video to something else or put it on loop. Yeah, sometimes I set a video up to be playing so I can fall asleep, and I forget to loop it. Yeah, I forgot the settings to loop the video over and over again. So there I am, almost asleep. And the video cuts out and there's silence. And then I can't go to sleep because I'm thinking about stuff. I start to listen to my own thoughts. Yeah. That's trouble. I can't sleep with my own thoughts. In many cases. So there you go. I have to mess with the phone and wake myself up. So then now another hour and a half has to go by before I go to sleep again. Yeah. Luckily, that doesn't happen every night. No. Luckily. If it ever does, you'll hear about it on video. Yep. Oh, I can feel cool air coming in from outside now. So nice. The days are hot and humid here in the summer, but the evening breeze is so nice. It gets down in the 50s and 60s at night. Doesn't matter how hot it gets during the day. It gets down into the 50s and 60s at night, which is nice. Some of you say, well, desert does that? You used to live in the desert, right? Desert does that? Yeah, it does that if it's not city desert. I was in the city, so it doesn't get cool. Even though out in the back 40 in the desert, it gets cool at night. In the city, it stays hot. Yeah. Here, it's rural enough that the city doesn't absorb all that heat. And there's trees. The trees shade a lot of the asphalt around here. Yeah. There's shade around here. It's not like desert plants that are only about 6 to 8 feet tall at the most. They don't shade nothing. Anyways, I'm getting to the point where I don't need to do any more thinning at this stage. If I figure out what I'm going to make out of it, then I do need to thin it if it's required. But it's not required no more for this video, so there you go on that one. What about this one? Yeah, this was going to be something. Let's see. Let me put this somewhere where it won't snap. If I drop something on it, like if I drop this whole thing, it won't roll over, because it's what this wants to do when I drop it. It wants to go that way toward this that I just finished. That's what it wants to do. I'm not going to let it. Yep. Everything wants to ruin what I just did. The rocks support each other in not wanting to be arrowheads. Yeah. They go, dude, don't worry. You don't want to be an arrowhead. You didn't want to be that blade. So I'll help you out. When I fall, I'll roll over and knock you into 2 pieces. Okay, I'll do you solid. Yeah, they help each other. They do. Even these flakes, they're going, drat! He can't drop it on us now. He can't drop it on us now. Can't help you, dude. He moved us. We can't help you to get broken. Okay. That's right. You guys can't help anymore. You lost your chance. Okay. So, what am I gonna do? This is actually nice. I mean, it's nice and smooth. Yeah. Ooh, I can make an arrowhead out of that one. What do I make out of this one? I can make an arrowhead out of that one too. Yeah. Or a wind chime. I bet you I can get more views making wind chimes than I can making arrowheads. Oh yeah. I need to look that up now that I'm thinking about it. Of course, I can't write it down. Then I need to look up how successful the wind chime videos are. I'll forget if I don't write it down. I've always thought of making wind chimes from some of these flakes. Just never done it. Because I'm thinking, no one's interested in that sort of stuff. But you never know. Some of these flakes make nice tones when you hit them. Especially the long ones. Now, that might mean that they'll break in a high wind, so there's risk. Yeah, all these flakes hitting each other in a high wind. You've got to bring in your chimes. Yep. Bad times for the little chimes during a windstorm or a windy storm. Wonder if there's storms that are just wind, that's it, and not tornadoes. Just because I think, I don't know where I got that in my head that there's such thing as a wind storm. Just wind, that's it. High winds, and considered a storm that are not tornadoes. Yeah. Somebody knows. Ooh, that looks like it has an existing crack. This looks like an existing crack in here too, although I can't tell. This is a problem when it's got these veins in it that have voids. The void veins. Yep. That's a percussion bulb. Nature smacked this rock really hard. Yep. This rock probably has some PTSD. It's been through a lot. Yeah, the PTSD rocks are highly unpredictable. Post-traumatic stress disorder in the rock is a thing. Yes, it is. Yep. Don't believe me? Just watch and see. Watch and see what previous stresses have done to the rock. And you'll see how unpredictable it gets. How crazy it can get. It can be nice to you one minute, and the next, it's your worst nightmare. Yep. Alright, I gotta be careful. It's starting the thinning stage now. Otherwise known as the sweat stage. And the ends need to be thinned first to put less stress, less bending stress. And I am trying to preserve width the best I can. It naps well on this side. Come on. Yeah. It's got internal issues. This side naps well. I want to make sure I don't mess it up. So I don't want to mess it up by napping too much of the good stuff off of there. If I can, I'll try to preserve where there's good stuff and remove just the bad stuff. That's the idea. I might have to switch to indirect percussion here to get a little more precise in the strikes. Okay, let's see if this works. Nope, not like that. I just messed it up. That was my only chance. My dad's trying to get up. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'll take a few more thinning flakes and I'll wrap it up. Okay, indirect percussion because I'm afraid to hit it. Oh, look at that. It already had some incipients from the billet, from the bopper. Let me just quickly do this. Yeah, I had some incipient cracks in there from the bopper. So as soon as I get rid of those, I'll be done with this particular phase. I just can't get through that area. That area is very crackly. Come on. There you go. I'm hitting above center line in some cases because the edge is really thick. But it can work as long as I'm careful about where I hit. I gotta try not to hit a really crunchy spot. That helped. Yep. But there's cracks in it. That's why I guess the flakes are not traveling because of existing cracks. Yeah. There's a crack in it. That makes a big difference. Oh, no wonder. That looks okay. Now, there's some issues still, but I gotta go inside. I'm not gonna deal with those in this video. Yeah. I think you got the idea on this one. From here, it's not that difficult. Yeah, from here, it's not that difficult. I think the major cracks are gone. Yeah. As long as I take out that curve, it's starting to develop a curve. As long as I take that out, I'll be all right. Wrong way. Wrong way. I gotta take mass off of this side, not that side. Yeah, like that. I had to get rid of that crack right there. Right. Good. Straight, mostly straight, with just a little bit of a turtleback, which I can remove with a few indirect percussion strikes. Oops. Yeah, okay. So the majority of the bad spots and the bad problems are gone. It's pretty straight, relatively speaking. I don't see any big defects in the material anymore. So there you go. There you go. I'm going to post that. First part of this challenge. I might finish these out on the next video. Okay? Hopefully that was good. Alrighty. That's it.